Experiencias académicas, culturales y personales compartidos por estudiantes internacionales en el TEC de Monterrey.
I like that.
Welcome to the space in which students from all over the world share their exchange experiences with us. Una visión única de quienes llegan a nuestro país y la travesía de los que se van en busca de una experiencia global.
When I went there,
Esto es Global Connection con Carolina Alcántara. Iniciamos.
Hello, welcome to Global Connection. I'm Carolina Alcántara, an international programs advisor, and today we will explore the lives of an exchange student that's studying in Germany, but is not from Germany. In this case, we have Max André Lo. I wanted to say like a bigger name, I don't know why, but Max André Lo. Is it pronounced correctly?
Exactly.
Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, actually, Max's story is quite interesting. He is quite an explorer. He likes to travel around a lot and always have adventures. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that as well. So in this case, this show is going to be also regarding New Year's. Like we're going to talk about like what's New Year's resolutions? How do you see New Year's? Like from your perspective. So stay tuned. Y ahorita, como saben, en el programa tenemos que hacer estos pequeños momentos en donde se explica lo que estamos hablando en español, ya que como es radio mexicana, tenemos que decir qué es lo que estamos hablando. Como les comentaba, en este programa tenemos a Max André Lo, que es estudiante en Alemania, pero no es alemán, es de Malasia. Y pues le seguimos contando lo que nos viene a decir y pues quédense en el programa.
Crónicas de un intercambio. La experiencia de vivir en México. Chronicles of an Exchange.
Bueno, pues estamos en Crónicas de un intercambio. Chronicles of an Exchange. As in this part of the program is more about saying your experience so far here in Mexico and at TEC de Monterrey. So could you start by sharing from what university you come from and what do you study?
So basically, I'm studying in a Munich University of Applied Sciences back in Munich, Germany. And I'm currently studying biotech industrial engineering and management right there. And I'm currently doing an exchange semester right here in Monterrey, studying as well in industrial engineering.
And how do you find Monterrey so far?
Well, I mean, I basically fell in love with the city right here. Not just the city, as I do not really spend much time right here. I particularly chose this city, Monterrey, because of the nature, the mountains, and everybody, the ecosystem, the ecology, everything right here is just spectacular. The caves, and yeah, that's the main reason why I chose it here, because I really want to indulge myself not only in the culture but to explore what does Monterrey have to show to me.
And so far, what do you feel that Tech has also? Well, more than that, like why did you choose Tec de Monterrey as a university?
Well, to be brutally honest with you, it doesn't really matter which university I study in. Like, I have never been to Central America, and I really want to. And as soon as I saw there's an exchange program through my university, I took it in a jiffy, without any hesitation. And that's why I chose Mexico, because it is still in my bucket list. I haven't been there yet, and here I am right now.
And what do you thought? Well, like now that you're here, what do you think about the university?
The university, it is something what you see in film. Yeah, I mean, compared to the university back in Germany, in Germany they do not really value much of a campus life. All right, it's just studies and go home. However, in Monterey, it has everything, especially this university. It even has a wellness center, a gym right here with a swimming pool. I mean, which university has that? And yeah, it has so many other things. It offers life courses where you can not only be something with academical, but also extracurricular, which I personally think is amazing. And what I like about this university is it's really green. There's grasses, there are even animals right here. What else can I say about this? The people here are amazing. There are heaps of restaurants right here. Not exactly a restaurant, but like a little hawker store incorporated into the canteen of the cafeteria. And huge library. There's 5 floors of it. Yeah. And yeah, it's a huge campus. If you're the first time right here, it's like a labyrinth. You can actually get lost here.
You feel that when you arrived, did you ever got lost here?
On my first week, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are the main difference that you see from now that you're studying here at the tech system from the university that you study in Germany?
The main difference, apart from what I've already said, the system is really different right here. Right here, it's more towards, I'm not really sure how to put it, but it's more of like doing a lot of coursework and more of doing your own research about this. And the professors are just right there to guide you. Instead, back in Germany, it's different in a sense that the professors do teach where you gain information from. And maybe because of this is an international program, they assume that we already know the knowledge and just come here and adapt and apply what we have learned. Unfortunately, not many of us have the knowledge. So we might struggle a little bit when we first come here, but it is a challenge. Yeah.
Have you liked this challenge?
Some of it, yes. Some of it, no. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you are around the campus, what do you feel that the student life feels like?
The student life, I mean, it varies. It could go from you're very active, like you're going to like example to the gym, or you could even be right here just relaxing by the garden. It has I don't know how do you call it. It's like a chair. It's like a metal chair where you can just like swing around there and just relax. You can even recline it in the garden and sometimes just enjoy the sun.
I know how it's called, but I don't know. Like in Spanish, it's called mecedora.
Okay.
But I don't know how it's called in. Maybe no, I don't remember. But it's
no idea what that is.
Yeah, but it's like you usually see it in films, like where the grandmother is, right? And you
right.
Like,
no, it's not really like a rocking chair. It is like a rocking chair, but sometimes Monterey it can go up to 40 degrees Celsius, and these chairs are made of metal. So sometimes you just sit on it, and yeah, you know that feeling. It's like almost like a 1st-degree burn. Yeah.
And you're from Malaysia, right?
Exactly.
And have you lived all of your, like, when you were young, did you live in Malaysia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Born and bred.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
And what made you decide that you wanted to study in another place rather than Malaysia?
Well,
like your university, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
2 reasons actually. First reason is that I always want a new challenge in life, because if not, life is just going to be boring. And going to a new country, speaking a whole new different language, with a whole new different culture, that is something which I want to throw myself into, because in this world we are just a small human being in a very large world, right? So you really got to explore it and to get as much context as possible, because these are important for the future. And also, if you get to a certain country, you always need to absorb everything like a sponge and this you can actually apply in real life. And the second reason is because back in Malaysia, I was a chef, and at one point, I felt to myself that I was working way too hard, 16 hours a day, for somebody else. And that is not what I want for my future. If I'm going to work this hard and get an award, it's going to be for my own restaurant with my name on it. And that is why I knew from that moment I got to take a step back. I got to take a step back and to go back to the drawing board, see what can I change, what can I do differently. And I saw that food is not only just about the ingredients, right? It's also about the utilities to cook with, the pans, the fridge, the ovens, right? And this affects the food too. And I was thinking to myself, the ingredients are one thing, but these utilities, how could I make my food better through this? And by making this better, you go all the way back from scratch, which is the material, the production. And what are these? These are engineering. And in that term, I'm thinking, if I have the engineering knowledge, I could revolutionize the whole culinary industry together with food, with what I have in my background, my knowledge, and start something with it. And that is why I took a step back from culinary and went to a whole new different field, 180 degrees into engineering. And that's why I study engineering, and Germany is because of the first reason.
I think like usually when you think about engineering, the first ring that bells is Germany, right? Because they say that like the best engineerings are from there.
Right.
Yeah.
And also free education. So who doesn't want a free education?
Really?
Yeah, it is a free education in Germany for everyone. All they got to do is just learn their language.
I didn't know that.
It is.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
So like basically you go like this exchange is also you got it because you're in that university.
Yes, exactly. And that's how I study here for free too, because I don't pay anything for that university. And that's how I do not pay anything for this university, which I am so fortunate and so grateful for.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
Like I even didn't know that. Like wow, that's amazing. Actually, I think your background is super interesting because now we're getting more philosophical, but I think that's super nice because a lot of people sometimes they already like maybe they already have a degree.
Yes.
And they think like, okay, I need to do this for the rest of my life. It sucks sometimes for certain people, and it's like, okay, this is what I have to do. There's nothing I can do. But in your case, from what you're telling, it's super nice that you actually, as you said, you took a step back and you were like, okay, I want to do this for myself. So what can I do? And you did it. Like,
of course. I mean,
so nice.
In that position, that there's only three options. It's either you wake up when your family is sleeping, or maybe for those who have kids when they're sleeping, or when they return home, their kids are still sleeping. Second option is that you just stay behind the stove and you're lying to yourself. You're lying about everything you work for, and you're lying about your integrity. And the third option is pack up your stuff, take your apron off, and leave. And it's almost like a professional boxer, Like sometimes you just got to get out, and they feel that they have one more fight left in them, and that is how they return to the ring, being such a more improved boxer. So, and that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. Together with agriculture, so I'm going to start a farm as well. That's so nice. Yeah, I think you're doing like integrating different parts and making a nice combo there. That is the dream. Yeah, and I bet you're gonna get it. Appreciate it. No, yeah, for sure. Ahora voy a decirlo en español. Lo que estamos hablando un poco con Max es sobre pues su experiencia aquí en el Tecnológico de Monterrey. Nos comenta que pues él cuando tenía, él quería venir a Latinoamérica, más que nada también a América, y pues el Tec de Monterrey tenía un convenio con su universidad en Alemania y está estudiando debido a eso acá, y pues que le ha encantado la ciudad, que disfruta mucho las montañas, también el campus le ha gustado mucho,
Y pues sigan aquí al pendiente. Recuerden que están escuchando Tech Sounds Radio y están en Global Connection.
A miles de kilómetros, descubriendo un mundo de posibilidades. Thousands of miles.
Well, we're back with another section that's called 1,000 Miles Away. And in this section, it's more about how, well, usually we have students from tech that go abroad and study in another university. But in this case, for instance, that you're from Malaysia and you're studying in a university that's not from your country, you're having this experience kind of abroad, but in a different aspect.
Right.
So, when as we were previously talking, you were also say that you decided to study there because you were going to study engineering. And well, I would like to know what now that you are studying in Germany, how have you feel fulfilled with the expectations that you had?
My expectations, you mean what?
What, like when you went to Germany, you wanted to study engineering, and now that you arrived there, did you like it, or was it better, or was it totally different for what you had in mind?
Well, I really like the system in Germany where you can actually learn the knowledge and apply them in real life. And somewhere along the road, the university, the program is actually forcing you to almost incorporate what you have learned in the real life situation, where we have to go to a certain company and we have to collaborate with them, come up with a project. And yeah, I feel that is something, it's way beyond my expectation, because for me, university, compared to Malaysia, just go there, get a degree and get out from there. But in Germany, you actually learn these things, and I can see why that they are one of the best in engineering, that they produces, it produces like protege, like this, for example, in their automotive industry, their production industry. Yeah, I can see why. It's because of this. And does it fulfill my expectation? No, it went beyond it.
And what would you advise to people that want to study in Germany?
In Germany, well, first of all, just learn the language. No matter how difficult it is, it will be useful. Even though they do speak fluent English, but unfortunately not many of them. And of course, if you know the language, you know who's going to mess with you behind your back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, learn to enjoy their cuisine, even though it's not one of the best in the world. Yeah. And yeah, just go there, especially Bavaria, indulge in the culture, because Bavarian culture is very different from the other parts of Germany. It has a very vibrant culture and it's more opening. For example, it's like the most famous, everybody knows about Oktoberfest, but that is not what Bavarian culture is all about, because when you just go to Oktoberfest, you see all the Americans there drunk. And yeah, but there are other little festivals too, like Stock Beer Fest, Mai Fest, and everything. And I really love them. You can really see how they are actually proud of themselves to be called a Bavarian, and everyone knows that the Bavarian beer is the best beer in the world. So, and it is.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
Is there a specific brand that people like should try if they're over there?
I mean, my favorite is a brand called Augustina, but there are other very similar too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when you were in Germany, did you face any challenges regarding adapting to the new culture? Was it really different from your culture?
Culture-wise, no, because personally, I have been to I've been around the globe, so I really know how to adapt myself to a certain place. However, if you're talking about my challenges I faced there, of course the language, and living in Bavaria, some professors do not only speak German, they speak Bavarian as well, which is which I do not even understand. Every single time go there, it's like, why would you speak Bavarian in a German university where there's international students? Yeah, and yeah, that's the only challenging part. Other than that, everyone friendly. I love the culture. I've been living there for like 3-4 years now, but I don't spend much time there. Yeah. Yeah, and I unfortunately I can't call it home yet, but who knows, in the future something might happen.
Yeah. Would you like stay there for living? Do you think that could be an option for you?
At the moment, no. Yeah, but who knows if something happens. Yeah, and anything could happen.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you never know. So sometimes you just kind of go, as they say, with the flow.
Definitely.
And in that way, like, life surprises you, right?
Of course, it always does.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of cultural differences, what surprised you the most there? Like, what was something that you never thought that Germans were or do? That maybe like sometimes you see movies and you think that's something that they do, but they actually don't do it also in that aspect.
Well, before going to a country, I always do some research about it. So I've really expect what to expect. So first of all is the punctuality. The Germans are so different compared to Mexicans. Yep. If a meeting, an appointment starts at 8, you'll see Germans there at 7:45. Yeah. So punctuality is number one. Second of all, rules. You should almost never break any rules in Germany because they are very strict about it and they follow it like a Bible. Yeah. So rules is something that you got to respect it. Yeah. And if you don't, well, you're going to face some consequences and repercussions. Yeah. And what else? What surprises me? Yeah, they spend more money on their cars compared to food. So you can really see, even comparing to their neighboring country in France. They spend more money on food rather than anything else. But in Germany, they spend more money on cars. Yeah, because they love their cars more than they love their women. Yeah, and yeah, sometimes you can even see on by the street a little boy, I think like 10 years of age, a schoolboy in a school uniform drinking a bottle of beer. So yeah, so I they might have an age limit of alcohol, but apparently that's not the only thing they do not follow.
That's like the only thing that they say. Oh, okay, it's beer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like water for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And being from Malaysia, if someone wanted to study in a country like Malaysia, what would you advise them?
Someone who wants to study in Malaysia, first of all, you got to learn how to eat spicy food.
More than here?
I mean, not all foods are spicy, but we do love our food spicy. So, yeah, you have to learn the spicy food, to how to eat a spicy food, and also, there's also an ethnicity in Chinese ethnicity in Malaysia, which they eat a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, so they actually eat the entire animal, like from head to tail, horn to feet. So you got to learn to appreciate that, to have the best cuisines of your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what people should try when they go there, like for food wise?
Oh, definitely our national dish is nasi lemak, which is a rice cooked in coconut milk, eaten together with fried egg, fried chicken, fried anchovies, fried peanut, some healthy cucumbers for refreshment, and a chili sauce. for breakfast.
For breakfast?
For breakfast.
Wow.
That heavy meal. We do value our heavy meal for breakfast. Exactly. And that's why you can see a lot of obesity in Malaysia because because we do love our food that much.
Wow. Well, I would never expect that to be for breakfast. It sounds like more than dinner, you know? Yeah. But I mean, here in Mexico, we have tacos for breakfast.
But compared to tacos, that's way more.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Bueno, pues estábamos con Max hablando un poco de cómo es estudiar, cómo es su experiencia de estudiar en Alemania, al igual que también qué es lo que puede esperar un estudiante que quisiera estudiar, en este caso en Malasia. Y pues sigan con nosotros. Vamos a un corte comercial y volvemos. Recuerden que están en Tech Sounds Radio escuchando Global Connection.
El desafío, la integración cultural, The Challenge.
Pues estamos de regreso. We're back. And now in this section, it's called The Challenge. So in this section, the challenge is more about we will discuss cultural differences and how this has impact your exchange. But in this case, in the challenge, we're gonna make it a little bit more like the New Year's resolution part, like how New Year's is for you in your country and how New Year's is if you have spent New Year's in Germany or in another country, how has it influenced you? So we can start by you can tell me what about New Year's in your home country?
I almost can't remember the last time I spent New Year's in my country. It was that long ago. But what I can remember was spending time with my mother, my brother, the three of us, and we are just watching the fireworks on up the sky. And yeah, I really cherish those moments. And yeah, if I could ever do that again, I would really love it. Yeah, because it's been ages since I've done that with my family. Yeah.
And how is New Year's celebrations in Malaysia?
It's not really a Malaysian thing because New Year's is almost like it's almost like an international thing. So it's been already following a lot of cultures, like different cultures, like everyone just going to the pub getting drunk, and then when it's New Year's, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everyone is just like Happy New Year, and that's it. Life goes on. Yeah, and sometimes in shopping complexes, there are like parades or there's a concert going on, and I do remember one year, I really liked it. There was a Malaysian group playing bagpipes, like really bagpipes, like from Scotland, and that was the group who actually beat Scotland in a bagpipe to get in some bagpipe competition or something, and Malaysia got first.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how they beat Scotland. And to see them perform there on New Year's Eve, it's really amazing. Yeah. So, but your question, if Malaysia have any particular or specific celebration for New Year's Eve? No.
Do you have something else that you celebrate instead of New Year's that it's more like
not really.
No?
Maybe some other people of course they on the last day of the year, you know, they try to complete whatever resolution that they haven't done yet. Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, New Year is just like a regular day. It's just like the 10 seconds of 5 seconds left of the year and 5 seconds after. It's like a celebration, and after that, life goes on.
So there's no like special parties or stuff like that?
I mean, some people do have like those New Year party, yeah, but it's like any other parties. It's just like drinking, and I mean, but you know, Malaysia is a Muslim country, so 80% of them do not drink, so only like the 20% of them like drink and celebrate. So so yeah, it's not much.
And now that you have lived in Germany, have you had New Year's in Germany?
I haven't.
No?
I'm always around the globe during New Year's.
Yeah, and where was the last place that you spent New Year's?
2023, I spent my New Year's in Algeria.
Wow.
Yeah, Algeria. And 2022, I spent it in Slovenia. Yeah.
And how were the celebrations over there?
Unfortunately, in 2023 New Year, I did not celebrate because I was in the wilderness of Algeria, and yeah, we were up in like some nature, like just me and my mates, and we don't have any celebration there. We're just like, oh, okay, done. Happy New Year, and that's it. Let's continue our adventure. Oh wait, I remember in 2022 I was in Tunisia during New Year's, and I remember spending New Year's in a forest because I had COVID. I had corona, so I had to isolate myself in the forest. Everyone stayed at home for what's the word again? For the isolation thing.
Yeah.
That thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the word.
Yeah, it's too long ago. Yeah. But,
yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah, I
isolated
myself in the forest with my two other friends who had COVID as well.
Really?
Yeah. So we just since we all three have corona, let's just go to the forest so we do not give the virus to anybody else. So that's how I spent my 2022 New Year. In front of a big fire, and just said, Bonani, that's it. Yeah.
Wow. Like, well, you connected with nature, but it was also nice that you had other friends. I mean, too bad that they were also ill,
two
right?
Others, yeah. I mean, they were the one who gave me the virus, so yeah. Yep.
Well, you were, as I said, all in this together, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting.
Yep.
I think it's super interesting that you're always traveling. So when this emotion of traveling, when did this started arising in you?
Well, honestly, I can't really remember where it started. Yeah,
no?
But I think the one that triggered the most was in 2020, where I first went to Tunisia, and then alone. Like that was one of my first big travel alone, and I fell in love with it. I got so addicted that I just want to go out.
How long ago?
I think like 5-6 years ago. Yep. And yeah, thankfully I'm not addicted to drugs or alcohol or any other thing. I'm addicted to traveling. So as soon as Corona hits in Germany, everybody has to stay at home. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to get to South America. And yeah, I spent a year right there while everyone is like staying at home. I'm enjoying myself in South America, and yeah, that's how the urge of traveling continues.
What do you do to make that possible?
I mean, what did I do to make that possible? Just go do it. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. All you got to do is go to a certain country, get a visa, and just go. You know, there's nothing really much to it. A lot of people are like, oh, I need to plan this, I need to plan that, I need to book a tour or something. No. I mean, if you really want a true adventure, go to an unknown country, do not expect anything, and get surprised by it. That is something why I love traveling so much, because you go there and just, it's like being in school all over again, you know? Yeah. Instead of like packing your bag up, learn, because traveling for me is not only just about traveling, it's about a learning. It's about learning, because you do learn much more from traveling than in school. So yeah, learning in terms of like historical, in culture, and also culinary. So I always want to learn more and adapt it. And, part of it is because of getting the culinary knowledge so that in my future restaurant, I can put myself on the plate. Putting all my knowledge, what I've learned, what I've accumulated, and tell my story on the plate. And that's something I would like to do.
Wow, that sounds like super nice because in a way it's like you're integrated. Like I think when you're cooking, you're putting the energy in the food, right?
Yes, of course. It's all about passion, when you're cooking, because yes, as I mentioned, ingredients is just one thing, but it's all about the passion. How you transform passion into flavors and making every dish into a masterpiece. Yeah, as a chef, you are not just an artist, you're also the creator. So you can actually express yourself in the kitchen. You can put whatever you want on the menu. You can fire whoever you like. It's one of the only job where you can actually express your own self. Yeah,
that's so nice. Yeah. Bueno, pues en esta parte estábamos comentando, en vez de, como les comentaba ahorita, pues esta es una sección de Año Nuevo y en vez de que sea de challenge estamos conectando con la parte de Año Nuevo. Y pues en cuanto a Año Nuevo, lo primero que le preguntamos a Max es cómo ha pasado sus últimos años nuevos. Y resulta que pues ha estado en varios lados del mundo, por ejemplo en Algeria, y pues lo interesante es que también él ha hecho ciertas decisiones que lo han llevado hasta donde está. Él antes era un chef y actualmente pues está estudiando ingeniería para poder incorporar eso y próximamente también poder un restaurante y poder aplicar toda esta pasión en sus platillos. Pues continúen con nosotros, están escuchando Global Connection en Tech Sounds Radio.
Impacto positivo. Resultados de una experiencia académica. Positive Impact.
Well, we're back with Positive Impact. And in this section, usually we talk about how your experience in Mexico has influenced your life. But in this case, since it's New Year's, and coming from your story, I think it will be super interesting on, from your expertise, telling the people that are hearing us what they can do in their lives to actually make their New Year's resolution happen. Because I think from what I see from you, you're a person that hasn't like there's no limitations. Like you set your mind to something and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I think it's difficult for, like, that's not normal. Normal is like sometimes you want to do things, but there's always something that might stop you. So what have you done, or what makes your mentality make you do the things that you want to do and go for what you want?
Well, who I am today, it has a lot to do with MMA as well, or what happened in my childhood. I didn't really have a really good childhood. I was in a shit situation, and I was really bullied a lot and everything. And yeah, I mean, in this world, it's either sink or swim. So, and that's how I went into MMA. And there's this one particular coach. His name was Salman, and he's almost like a father figure to me. And yeah, he shaped me who I am today, because he drummed it in my mind, in my mentality. Like, if you want to do it to your best. If you don't want to do it to your best, get out of here. Do not waste my time, and certainly do not waste yours. And I feel that it is a life lesson in the early stage of your life, because it's how you're getting structured, is how you're getting this knowledge, and you're becoming hungry, and out of a sudden you're a monster that he created. And I see this kind of environment all the time, that and I always ask individuals to stay in this environment, because it's a good place. Get what you want, learn what you want, and get out. And yeah, because Yeah, as I mentioned, do not fear the storm. Learn to dance in the rain, because when there will be a shit storm coming in somewhere in your life, in your radar, and when the storm comes, yep, you're going to stand tall in this storm and you're going to get through with it. So it is this mentality that he put in me, that I have this confidence, and I've always applied this confidence in whatever I do. Do it to your best, and full stop. Was that what you wanted?
Yeah. But what's MMA?
Mixed martial arts.
Okay.
Boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, so it's basically fighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes you more disciplined to actually go for your goals.
It does. It not only discipline, but to learn the confidence and respect as well. Because everybody sees me, is either they see me as an MMA fighter or a chef. But actually, I'm half and half. I'm always like, there are things where you could incorporate from MMA and from a chef as well, and that's discipline. Like and also you can't really show emotions, because emotion are for the bedroom, but in the kitchen you got to be disciplined and you got to stay focused, and that's what in MMA as well. And by being disciplined and staying focused, you create consistency, and that in the restaurant world, that's what 1-star, 2-star, 3-star Michelin is all about. It's about consistency in the cage. How your techniques affects you, how you adapt when hard situation comes. Like example, there's a punch coming, or when someone takes you down in that position, in that time frame, you only have 1 or 2 seconds before the opponent break your bones or choke you to sleep. That is how you can adapt to persevere what you can do in this moment. So yeah, in the kitchen and in MMA, it shapes you of how you could actually handle pressure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, and I really like the analogy, because I think sometimes we see food like, okay, something that we eat, but it's a lot of things, and I do appreciate the people that are behind in the kitchen, because like behind every meal that we have, because there's love, there's like a lot of things involved in a plate, and you actually, I think you feel the flavors when there's not an emotion in them. It's something peculiar.
But when you mention about there's a lot of things going on right there, it's not actually. It's sometimes you just got to keep it simple. You got to keep it simple. Sometimes the simplest stuff are the answers. You got to look each and every single ingredients for what it is, not what you want it to be. For example, if you just look at my hand right now, what do you see? You see a palm. I see 4 knuckles. We are both looking at the same thing, but we see something very different. So in the life lesson is, do not let the obvious, or never let the obvious blind you. Look at it for what it is, and always be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I think that's really wow. Yeah, I think because when you actually start like digesting what you just said, it's important to not put like the expectations on other people or on other things, because sometimes maybe you want to eat something, for instance, and you think it needs to taste like this, but it doesn't. It's sometimes it is what it is.
Yep.
And if you would have, I think, a better experience if you just take it as it is and not try it to be something else. Also people, because sometimes when you put so much pressure in people, then they're gonna disappoint you at some point, because they are their own and you're not gonna make them like as you want them to be.
Exactly what I said.
That's so like I really think that's super important to everyone that's listening. I think the discipline, it's something that I can personally take, that can shape you to actually make things. So regarding that and what we have talked so far, I would actually also like to ask you, about the Mexican culture. Like now that you have been here,
Right.
what would you take from the Mexican culture for yourself that you're going to incorporate it to your life?
Well, there are a lot I could learn from the Mexican culture. First of all, is being open, being very friendly. Sometimes I'm just going outside, up in the nature, up in nowhere, up in some villages, and they are always very hospitable. They always invite you in, and yeah, of course, like some people against me not to because of some cases and everything, but sometimes you got to take a risk, you know. And if the risk pays off, they are one of the nicest people in the world. And yeah, no matter who you are, no matter what background you came from, they always treat you like an equal, you know, like we are all brothers and sisters. Come here, have a tequila, have a cake, you know. And yeah, that's something I could learn about the Mexican culture, that we do not judge people. You know, we are all the same. We are born on this earth the same way, and we die the same way. So why can't we live the same way? That's a very interesting question. And yeah, friendly, as I mentioned, from the Mexican culture, and they do love to celebrate. So sometimes I got to say, be free sometimes, you know, because of what I've gone through. Sometimes I'm very conservative. I'm always very close. Yeah, many people do not see that in me, but I have a very dark story behind. And yeah, sometimes I just like keep it in me, but sometimes I also got to relax and enjoy. Yeah, and that's what the Mexican culture is all about. Yeah, they love celebrating, and sometimes maybe even too much, but but that's something that what Mexico is about. Yeah.
I'm glad that you find this in the Mexican culture. And regarding that, sometimes I think every situation in our life shapes us.
Definitely.
And the only thing that we can do, or it's like maybe sometimes we had bad situations, the only thing we can do regarding that is how we're going to react. So if I would say, like, I think from what you have said so far is that you have reacted on like in a really positive way, because I think when you have negative situations in your life, there's people that either sink and they don't go out of that black hole,
right,
or other people that thrive. And sometimes we don't choose the situations, they just happen. And it's really encouraging, and I think for people that are hearing, to hear that your life story has taken you where you are now, and you don't stop because of that.
Right. And I also like to tell anyone listening, basically, to, if you have an opportunity to leave your country, go for it. Take the opportunity, because do not stay in your comfort zone. If you stay there, you will forever be spoon-fed. If you leave your comfort zone, that's where you let your wings fly.
That's super nice. Yeah, I think everyone should have an international experience regarding, like, here at Tec de Monterrey. I think what it's always encouraged for students is that they at least go as a summer, a winter abroad. But I think from what Max is saying, it's super nice that you are encouraging people, like, to live. I think it's a way you feel like you live more, right? Like, with
definitely, and you actually learn so much more. Yeah, if I'm still in my little black box in Malaysia, I wouldn't have traveled all I've traveled. I wouldn't have learned what I've learned today. And yeah, it is the best decision of my life to leave home. Yeah.
Wow. Bueno, pues lo que nos comentaba Max es que terminó con la frase de que la mejor decisión que tuvo en su vida fue salirse de casa. Y pues esto es algo que pues ha sido muy impactante para él, porque no tenía una vida muy sencilla, pero él ha sabido salir adelante. Nos comentaba que con artes marciales, con una mezcla de diferentes artes marciales como box, jiu-jitsu, pues él ha aprendido la disciplina, y a través de la disciplina ha podido lograr pues alcanzar sus metas. Y pues en estas secciones es básicamente de lo que estuvimos hablando. Nuevamente, pues es Positive Impact, la sesión de impacto positivo, pero pues en esta ocasión lo tornamos un poco más hacia Año Nuevo y sobre, pues en Año Nuevo siempre está esta emoción de querer hacer cosas nuevas, querer superarse a uno mismo. Pues siempre está pues en Año Nuevo, se me fue el nombre, pero los propósitos de Año Nuevo. Entonces en los propósitos de Año Nuevo pues siempre queda esas cosas que a veces no logramos, pero pues yo sin lugar a duda creo que con lo que nos comenta Max podemos darnos una idea de qué cosas sí hacer para poder lograrlos. Pues sigan aquí, ya estamos por acabar lamentablemente el programa porque está muy interesante, pero recuerden que están escuchando Global Connection.
Resumen. Summary.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye. Unfortunately, I am having a lot of fun discussing this. I think it's super interesting, your life. And before closing, I want to ask you a little bit about Mexican food, because you have been everywhere and you're a chef. And what about what's the thing that you like the most about the Mexican food?
What I like about Mexican food is how they incorporate the sauce into it, because what I've learned about the salsa, everybody thinks it's just salsa is just like something you just bought from a store and just put it in, but no, it's about the ingredients, the spices you put in there, how you if you are just blending a raw spices, it's something else, but if you char it on the clay or something, it's something different else, and if you smoke it, it's something different. So there's so many different kind of salsa in it, and there's so many varieties, and especially for example the mole as well, you put different ingredient is something else. And what I like about the tortillas, it's Mexico just simply amazing. You put a tortilla, put some meat, it's called a taco. You close it up, it's called something else. If you roll it up, it's called a burrito. You put cheese in it, it's called quesadilla. Quesadilla. You fry it, it's called a flauta. So it's like, yeah, it's so simple. Yeah, you do not need to mix something else. You fry it on the flat top. It's called gorditas, and yeah, and everyone thinks Mexico has so many different kind of varieties of food, but is there really? Yeah, but also Mexico, do not only come here and eat a taco. There's so many other things. There's like sopes, there's flauta, there's mole, especially. You got to try some tamales. You got to try the real Mexican food, like ceviche, use leche de tigres. You got to learn like a good salsa, and yeah, and in each region of Mexico, there's a different kind of food. Like for example, we are here in Monterrey. There's cabritos. Yeah, so do not be afraid to try the Mexican food, like the true Mexican food. And Mexican food is not just only about tacos.
And from what places that you have traveled, what's the place that you like the most in Mexico?
In terms of food?
No, like in terms of scenery.
Scenery, I would say Monterrey.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a die-hard nature guy. So Mexico City, it's nice, the culture and everything, but it might not be for me. Quintana Roo, Yucatan, beaches, some lagoons. It's nice, but it's not really for me. But if you want nature, Monterrey.
Monterrey?
Yeah.
So it's nice that you got to spend an entire semester here, like exploring right. Monterrey. Well, if you had to say one word just to sum it up, what your experience, what would be?
In my experience, I would say. You mean my experience in Monterrey?
Like, yeah, your exchange experience overall.
I mean, first of all, try something different, all right? And always make sure you fail. Because, I mean, if you don't fail, you're not even trying. I mean, I'm going to say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. And if you want something you never had, you got to do something you never did. So, yeah, that's my closing statement.
That's nice. Like Max está diciendo en español que siempre traten de pues fracasar, porque si no fracasan realmente no están haciendo algo nuevo y no están aprendiendo. Así que pues muchas gracias. Thank you very much, Max, for joining Global Connection. Y pues la gente que nos está escuchando, muchas gracias por estar en nuestro programa. Los esperamos en la siguiente emisión. Y pues saludos, gracias. Thank you very much, Max.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Hasta aquí Global Connection. Te esperamos en nuestra siguiente emisión, el miércoles a las 4 de la tarde, solo en Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM.